Hey, welcome to another episode of the DVD Bunker. I'm Brian. This is Matt.
Hi, Brian.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing great, buddy.
Me too. And I had such a good time last week doing our special Christmas episode that I thought I'd parlay it onto another holiday and do a New Year's themed episode.
Okay, I like it.
And there was really only one New Year's movie I could think of that I enjoy, and that's 200 Cigarettes.
All right, killer. All right.
Now, you told me you've never seen this movie, right?
Barely. I'm looking at the back now and seeing all these people. I have almost no recollection of this movie at all. I remember when it came out, I was just like, I don't know. So I know nothing, though, about it.
No. Well, I think that's the same reaction most people have, because when I was doing research, it looked like on IMDb, not such a great Metacritic score on this one.
Really?
Yeah, like in the 30s. So not great.
Real low.
Yeah. I didn't read the reviews because I don't respect those people, but I just thought, I don't, and you know how I feel about aggregate scoring, too.
Yeah. Well, the good news is they don't respect themselves either.
That's
Brian,
right.
So that's good.
Well, those who can't do, criticize. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
That's why we're here.
Exactly. And that cuts to the reason we're here for this show, which is to go back through my DVD collection and criticize my buying habits and purchases.
But let's be clear, it's self-criticism that you're doing.
Exactly.
The movie is incidental.
No. I'm judging the movie, but I'm actually using my judgment of the movie to judge myself.
Always looking inward.
Exactly.
Here at
If the movie's
Bunker.
bad, it's not their fault. It's my fault for buying.
Yeah.
They just put out a product.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just doing their thing.
Yeah, and you're providing false market reach for these distribution companies.
Exactly.
To say, oh, this 200 cigarettes, they really hit the nail on the head there.
Oh, the 18 to 35 white male demographic love that based on this guy.
It's 34. You're in a new demographic now. I thought of that yesterday.
I did. I had a birthday. I just crossed over.
How does it feel? You've been feeling yourself drawn to a little Jag lately? Maybe some Matlock?
There's yet another Law and Order spinoff, you say? I looked up a couple other New Year's Eve, New Year's related movies, so if people out there don't have access to 200 cigarettes, want to get into it, there's some other choices.
Yeah, you got some more?
I got a couple more.
Because I can't think of any. Okay.
Both the Poseidon Adventure from 1972 and the remake Poseidon from 2006. So if you don't know that, that's a boat disaster movie.
A little different vibe, I'm guessing, than this.
Probably slightly
different.
different. Although I think it starts out with a big party on the boat.
Yeah.
And just then the boat.
You get Burt Reynolds in one of those, right?
Well, Kurt Russell's in the remake. I know that.
Oh my god! And we got the Renaissance right now.
So this was 2006, so on the verge.
The start of it.
The original Ocean's 11 from 1960.
Okay.
Takes place on New Year's. I believe, also a heist movie, but has to do with New Year's. New Year's Evil, which is a slasher movie from 1980.
Okay, I like the title.
There was also a sequel to American Graffiti that was, it's like another American Graffiti or still American. I don't remember what's called. But the one that jumped out at me that I think has potential to be an episode of the DVD Bunker someday, 4 Rooms.
Oh wow, that's a New Year's thing?
Yeah, I always just thought I never really registered the fact that it all takes place in this hotel, but I think it's all wrapped around. Remember, Antonio Banderas and his wife are off to some big party. I think it's like a New Year's gala of some kind. So,
and you could do, you could get real interesting with 4 Rooms. Which stories do you remember liking?
It's like 4 mini movies.
Yeah.
It's like 4 little DVD bunkers.
4 times the bunker.
That's right. You could buy and sell each segment. This segment's a goodbye, but goodbye, whatever.
Yeah. Let's save that and sell it as once we rose to power.
I think we're look for New Year's Eve 2017, the DVD Bunker 4 Room special.
Yeah, it'll be a special. It'll be like $29.95 or something.
Right. Well, we'll have a Patreon set up by then, I'm sure,
we
can start getting in some of that fat bank.
Absolutely.
I want to quit my job and do internet stuff forever. Come on. What's wrong with that?
In fact, I already quit, so this has to work out.
Burned all my bridges, too, so no chance of ever getting my job back. I really need this to work.
So you better bring it tonight.
Yeah. So you fans out there, you tell 2 people. Make sure they tell 2 people.
That's why your son said, please do a good job tonight, Matt.
And he also was like, I'm so hungry.
Just sitting staring at the Christmas tree, which has no decorations. Now it all makes sense. Yeah. It's an empty tree.
You thought that we just hadn't gotten around to it. No, it's just very sad here. But anyway, it's New Year's Eve and it's time to party and we're going to watch 200 Cigarettes.
Let's do it.
Yeah. back. We watched 200 cigarettes. We smoked 0 cigarettes. Matt and I are both former smokers.
Yeah, Gonzo, Dunzo.
That's
so
right.
It disgusts us now, and we're
I
smug
smoked
about it.
just long enough to get the perfect rasp to my voice, and then I stopped. I was like, that's it.
Absolutely.
That's where I want it.
It's a good. Right,
I nailed it,
right?
Exactly.
It's perfect.
The sweet spot.
Yeah, that's what you call it, yeah.
I used to have that high falsetto, so I had to bring it down. Down.
Like a regular. They called you Mickey Mouse. Back
right. The main characters, I would say, if you had to pick main characters, is Courtney Love and Paul Rudd, right?
I would say that.
So Paul Rudd's like a kind of a tortured artist who just got dumped by his equally artistic girlfriend. They're both a couple of like New York artiste types.
Yeah.
And Courtney Love's like his best friend.
Yeah.
Kind of a little slutty, a little Courtney Lovey, you know?
Yeah, she said.
But this is my favorite Courtney Love, by the way. I love actress Courtney Love.
She's good.
People vs. Larry Flint, Man in the Moon. I would much prefer her as an actress.
She is a great actress, too. She really is.
Or was. We haven't seen her do any acting
true.
in a long time. We don't know if that part of her brain made it through. But anyway, she's still hot. This is fine. This is good Courtney Love acting in this one.
Oh, yeah. She's great.
And so their whole deal is like, he's kind of all negative about the whole New Year's thing. I think it's pretty clear from like the first moment that she's kind of in the friend zone, that she's got a thing for him. And she's kind of trying to poke him and prod him throughout the night, and she kind of like confronts him about why they never got together, because he's complaining about all the women he's been involved with because he just got dumped. And then, they try to kind of go off and, do like a friend sex type thing, right?
Yeah, first of all, this bathroom sex scene is just ridiculous because okay, we're in New York City on New Year's Eve. There's nobody in this bathroom. There are only people in this bathroom until his girlfriend walks in. Second, you don't go in the women's bathroom when you're going to have public bathroom sex. You do it in the men's, okay? Because ladies really take way more offense to that than men do if they just happen to pop in. You know what I mean? So for safety's sake. And then finally, you don't take all your clothes off. They're going to strip.
Yeah, he's like taking off her dress and they got her down to the bra and stuff. I'm like, no. Bathroom sex is hike up the skirt. There's no take. If you're wearing a dress, that's the whole deal with bathroom sex. You don't even go to try to have bathroom sex unless you're wearing a dress.
Yeah, if you're gonna get butt naked, that's like more of a dumpster area situation. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna do that in a public bathroom.
You get the bums in the alley to play lookout.
Yeah, exactly.
You let them pay 2 bits a gander and they can watch a little too. We all know the rules.
2 bits.
So now I did like. They're going to try to have this little, like, moment, this little kind of like, oh, okay, I dare you to fuck. She literally dares him to fuck her.
Twice in this movie, people say, I dare you to fuck me.
But they're having this awkward moment where it already looks like this sex isn't going to happen. And then, of course, his girlfriend walks in. And like I said, we're jumping around a little bit. So this is like the 48, 50-minute mark of the movie. And they play this girlfriend. It's like a reveal, and I think it's a testament to her star power at the time in 1999. It's Jeannine Garofalo.
Yeah.
And I mean, great choice, by the way, to play the like overly neurotic, artistic, New Yorker.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, they got Jeannine Garofalo. Martha Plimpton plays the host of this said party. Now, you don't really know. I mean, I feel like you watched it for the first time. Did it feel obvious that they were all going to the same party? Or did they, because everybody in the movie is constantly talking about getting to this party. I got to go to a party.
I mean, it
seemed pretty
be
obvious that they're all going to the same party. Okay. I wondered that. I was like, is that supposed to be a surprise? They're all heading to parties and it happens to be the same one? But it feels like since there's one character in the movie who's waiting around an empty apartment, that's all. She's like obsessed. She sets up, but it's like 9 o'clock. It's just her and her friend, and she's got the one friend there who's like, she's like forcing to stay with her because nobody's showing up yet. But it's way early, it's like 9, and she's like having a panic attack about it.
Yeah, and she should have went with her friend. Really, I mean, at that point it was like 9:30 when she left, and her friend's like, but
they both should have left and come back.
Yeah, because it seemed like nobody was ever going to show up. But they also call each other by their first names, and you kind of find out quickly that, like, when she's talking about Eric to her best friend, oh, that's the same Eric over here, or the same thing with Jack. Like, you kind of figure it out quick that these are all friends in some way.
There's like some interconnecting. There's a little interconnections to almost everybody.
Yeah, they're all kind of connected.
They at least all know to go to the same party. But so that's what kind of Martha Plimpton's thing through a lot of the movie. Since you mentioned Eric, I guess we can talk about Eric, who's her ex-boyfriend, his current girlfriend, and her friend, who are like two city kind of, I guess they're just kind of New Yorkers, like classy city girls, you know?
Yeah.
And
they're looking for men, I think. Is
right,
their whole...
they're man-eaters, I guess is the whole
that
thing.
That really is the best way to put it. Yeah, they are man-eaters.
And now we had a discussion about this because the actresses, Featherstone, what's her first name? Was it Angela Featherstone?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, Angela Featherstone. Yeah. Not Amy Locane. Now, I had forever, I thought this was Amy Locane in this movie. Amy Locane being the actress from Airheads.
Yeah.
I get her confused. They look a lot like, especially at the time this movie came out in like the mid to late 90s. Yeah. Now they probably look a little bit, you could probably tell them apart a little bit more. But when they were about the same age in the early 90s, Amy Locane is in Airheads. Angela Featherstone is in The Wedding Singer, and in this. And her friend is played by Nicole Ari Parker. She was in Boogie Nights, I think might be one of her biggest. She's like Don Cheadle's girlfriend, Becky,
I remember
if you remember her.
Yep.
But they play like these two friends. Nicole Parker is dating this Eric guy. Eric guy, by the way, played by Brian McCarty. These are kind of some lesser-known actors but I want to name drop. This is the whole episode could be a character corner.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of people because there's some big stars, but there's also some good character actors putting in some good performances here.
Absolutely true.
Who deserve it. And Brian McCarty is a nice English actor, and he's in Ghost in the Darkness, which I know we're going to do on this show someday. Great movie about lion attacks, and it has Michael Douglas and Val Kilmer in it. Yeah,
so, you can't be... I've seen that, and that's a movie I've seen, do not remember at all, so it's perfect DVD bunker.
It's amazing. Also, Gabby Hoffman and Christina Ricci.
Yep.
They play kind of they're from Long Island. I kept writing down Jersey girls.
No, they're more Long Island.
They're like high school chicks from Long Island, and I feel like they want to be the characters that Angela Featherstone and Nicole Parker are.
Yeah,
they want to that's what they aspire to be. These like sassy New York ladies who are just doing it in the big city and going out and living the life. And that's kind of like, but they took the train in from Long Island.
Yeah,
they're looking for their cousin's party. So, like, Christina Ricci is Martha Plimpton's cousin. That's her connection to the party.
And I don't think they're close based on
no,
she seems like she sees her at Christmas every year. She tells her she's coming to the
she
party.
has the address written down and she can't find it. So that's why they end up getting lost for a while.
Yeah.
They meet up with another duo, which is Casey Affleck and Guillermo Diaz.
Who gets no lines in this.
Guillermo Diaz has no lines. If you don't know who he is, he was Scarface in Half Baked. He was on Chappelle's show.
Of course.
And they're like punk kids, and they're freaking him out. They're like following him around, and Christina Ricci and Gabby Hoffman are freaking out. But of course, they end up finding out they're just regular nice guys.
Yeah, they just want to hang out, and they're great.
And Casey Affleck, in particular, is like a real softie. He's like a romantic. He's making out with Christina Ricci, but then she moves on and starts making out with somebody else, and he's all heartbroken, trying to talk to Gabby Hoffman about it. So speaking of Afflecks, Ben Affleck in this playing a bartender who knows he's handsome, but does he have a perm? What did we decide on his hair?
Both Afflecks, I think, have a perm.
Well, I feel like Casey Affleck's hair is like that. It's a little bit longer and it's a little curly.
Curlier.
But I feel like Affleck's is real tight to his head.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of like a little. It kind of looks like Dave Chappelle's mini fro.
Put some Dave Chappelle hit him with some activator or something. Like he had some for his fro.
Just give it a little.
And he's like, let me hit you with this activator, man. And it did kind of like curl up, almost like it wanted to be like an afro or something. But
Affleck plays a bartender. He runs in. He's kind of flirting with Courtney Love at one point. But he ends up going out with the two city girls. And you find out they think he's like some cool artist who's, all handsome. He's walking around like James Dean. Remember, he walks in that one shot and he's got the cigarette hanging out of his mouth and the squinty eyes. He's holding up a big box of beer. I mean, he's really playing it up. But then, of course, it turns out as soon as they start talking to him, he's like a boring nerd.
Yeah, he's
like in law school, and he's just like got all these corny lines. Like he's hitting up all the like cheesy. What's the one he said that was like flat out date rapey? I thought.
How do you like it? No, wait.
How do you like your eggs in the morning, scrambled or fertilized? That's gross, right?
Yeah, that was. And he's like, "Oh, I'm just kidding."
No,
he's
I'm
real
just kidding.
douchey.
Yeah, he's real. Yeah. So I'm trying to think. Okay, Kate Hudson.
Yeah, and Jay Moore.
Kate Hudson's on a date. What you find out is like a second date with Jay Moore. They had slept together. She's real nerdy and klutzy and real adorable in this. I thought this is like. I could see why Kate Hudson became a staple of rom-coms like in the early 2000s because this is like 99. She hadn't done too much when this came out.
And she's still finding it, but you do see like flashes of what she does in this, like really good stuff, like really good reactions and faces that she makes.
Well, she has a great comedy of errors through the. I mean, she like gets lipstick on her dress. She drops shit in a gross sink. I wrote down a bunch. She breaks the light over the pool table. She like swings the stick and smashes it. Rips her dress, catches her dress in the door of the cab. Eats a hot pepper, knocks over a tray, falls in dog shit.
Yeah, she has a bad time. Dress shut in the door.
But she's real like lovey-dovey over Jay Moore, and you find out they had sex, and it was like her first time. She was a virgin. He took her virginity. He didn't know it.
And he's like a player.
Right, and he's like a player, but he's also like a total douche. He's like every girl, his whole thing is that every girl he sleeps with basically falls in love with him. And he's all like, and she's so desperate to find love and wants it so bad to work, even though you find out that she was basically just looking to give it away.
Yeah.
She would have slept with almost anyone. But then once it happens, she wants so hard to make him the one. And he's like a total tool.
But in this, I kind of think though. I mean, yeah, he's a tool, but he's not. He's.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody we're
missing. One very important character.
Ooh,
the taxi driver.
Oh yeah, and I feel like they literally were just like, bring in Dave Chappelle and let's have him. Just give him a scene with everybody and just let him do his day. Like his scenes don't really. He's there. I guess you could almost say he falls into the magical black guy trope, you know, where like he does have like wise things to say, but he says them in such a funny manner, tells a weird story, but he's always like adding something. Whoever gets in his cab learns a little something or has at least a little bit like of a good experience with him.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
He kind of diffuses a lot of tension in his cab.
And I think he comes in contact with, I think every character at some point in the movie.
So everybody kind of converges like almost simultaneously. Martha Plimpton drinks herself blackout drunk. It's like as you see them carry her into another room, the first knocks are coming in at the door. You see everybody kind of show up, pile in, and then they do I like that they do the time jump.
Yeah.
That's a nice little, story element. It's fun the way they bring it back, because then, like you mentioned, they have the Polaroids over the credits that kind of show you what happened.
Yeah.
But... So they time jump to the morning after. Martha Plimpton wakes up in the wreckage of what was clearly a rager.
Yeah, doesn't know anybody is in her house,
I like that she finds Gabby Hoffman, and Gabby Hoffman is holding that package of drugs. It's like she's still got to get that package to Tony, She got left with it. And Casey Affleck better hope she does, right?
Yeah, right, or he's dead man. And it's a bummer because he just hooks up with Kate Hudson.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. They show us all the little hookups, and you see that, the romantic softie that was Casey Affleck is hooked up with the romantic softie.
Which I like
Kate
that.
Hudson.
I like that.
But yeah, we did mention that we better hope that Tony gets his package, or this might be short-lived.
Yeah.
The two city girls, Angela Featherstone ends up with Chappelle. She hooks up with him, even though their whole arc, because they're these catty friends who are fighting over dudes. Then they decide that they're both gonna go home alone. They're like, we need to stop this. This is hurting our friendship. We both make a pact to go home. They both break it. They both lie to each other. So they're not great people.
Yeah, they're lying.
She goes home with Ben Affleck. She ends up the other one, Nicole Parker, ends up going home with Affleck. You see, they're hooked up together.
I think though that they are they kind of playing this game with each other, but they're not going to really be too upset about it. I think they're good enough friends. They know what happened. It's one of those things where
it's going to come out, and they're going to be like, but they know they both did it, so they're not going to be able to be too hard on each other. And that does seem like it plays into what their relationship is.
And it's just another part. I really just feel like it's another part of we gotta give Chappelle more shit to say.
Yeah. What's he say to her? He's like, I'm reloaded, baby.
Yeah, guess who reloaded, baby? Then he kisses her, and then he just kind of does that stop and smile.
His hand is handcuffed to her ankle.
He's got a chain up. So great. There are some really good visual, while the dialogue bothers me in this movie, there's some great visual gags in this movie for sure.
Let's see. Jean Garofalo ends up with... I like this little arc because we talked about Elvis Costello. And Martha Plimpton mentions through the movie, like, about her obsession with it. I forget how it comes up a little bit, but then you find out that Elvis Costello was at the party, and he was, like, obsessed with the crab dip that Martha Plimpton made, and was, like, trying to find out who made it. She finds his glasses. Remember, she finds his glasses, the crab dip. She's, like, licking.
That's a great moment, too. Another great Martha Plimpton moment where...
and another great physical moment, like, just visual comedy. It was funny.
They don't explain why Elvis Costello's like constantly carrying her around. I mean, Dave Chappelle makes necrophilia jokes, but it's like they must have pulled her out of the bedroom.
Yeah, at some point, but then eventually he gives up on her and he hooks up with Jeannine Garofalo because they wake up together, which is good. I think that was Elvis Costello's thing of like he took the pictures with her passed out and he was like, wait a minute. What's supposed to happen after this part? And they were like, well, we're gonna have you wake up next to Martha Plimpton. Wait a minute. I think maybe I don't. Can we? Who's the biggest star in this picture? Put me with her.
That's why. They were like, well, we still got to get some sort of rape line here. That's why you have the Jay Moore joke. Like, well, I thought you looked older last night.
Right, it's Statch.
Yeah,
it's Statch.
Yeah. They're like, wait a minute, we can't make this story without some kind of rape joke here.
Elvis Costello. Oh, I don't want to. I don't want to take advantage of a passed out woman. Fine, Jay Moore, get in here.
Somebody attached to this movie like thinks that Elvis Costello ruined it. Like they spread like he's the worst guy to work with.
I had my vision of this movie.
That was the best gag. That was the ender.
But of course, in the end, it ends with Paul Rudd and Courtney Love. They end up together.
Yeah, of course. Which is right.
fine. It's their romantic comedy ending. And then Chappelle gets to narrate over the end credits where they show us the Polaroids of what happened. And that's another little funny Chappelle thing where he kind of like gives us a nice little upbeat little topper. I want to talk about who do we think the 5 most famous people were when this movie came out.
Okay.
And who are the 5 most famous people in it now.
Okay.
So let's start with when it came out. Who were the top 5 most famous people when it came out? Definitely, I think you got to shout out Jeannine Garofalo. Like I said, they gave her a reveal, basically. And I think this might have been like the last gasp of her being that famous. I don't think she, I think it's kind of downhill from here. But I think at the time, you cannot deny the way they used her. It kind of feels like she was a big deal.
Yeah, and her character's great, and she's great.
And another one, underserved. And I feel like, but that's because she was the big star at the time. So you only get so much Garofalo at this time in '99. Hey, she was off to make another rom-com with Uma Thurman, or who knows what she had on the back burner. She had a lot of irons in the fire at that time. Okay,
but we should talk about the most underserved character, which I believe is just due to his superstar status just across time. We didn't talk about is Elvis Costello, who is essentially in the movie for 2 seconds. He walks through.
He just kind of in passing, like walks between 2 people who are having a conversation as he's coming out of a building.
And I made a joke. I maintain that happened. Jay Moore and Courtney Love didn't break. Yeah. They pulled him to the side. They were like, "Just be in this movie, please. I know you told us to get the fuck out of your way."
His house.
And then he's like, "You guys can take some fucking pictures, I guess, of me. Like, if there's a party, let's just pretend." Yeah. And I don't even think the party was supposed to be in it. That was just all the Elvis Costello they could get was some Polaroids. So they were like, "We'll just put it in the fucking credits." But he's not in it.
No,
that's it.
No. So yeah, he gets like top billing. He's our official character corner because he's the only person in this movie that I recognize that isn't a part of the major cast.
Yeah, absolutely true. Absolutely true.
We won't waste our time because this movie's all about the cast. So whole movie's character corner and top billing all time goes to the crazy Elvis Costello.
But I say Jay Moore probably.
Jay Moore was probably pretty famous at this time. Yeah.
Paul Rudd, of course. I think he's clueless.
Yeah,
at this point,
I think Christina Ricci's bigger than Paul Rudd at this point in '99. I think
I'll agree with that.
And Affleck too.
I think he's big at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is like,
which is interesting to me because Days of Confused. And you got the Kevin Smith movies that he was in, but he's so
Good Will Hunting is before this that's too. Right. He already won the Oscar when this came out. Dogma, I think, came out the same year as this.
So they must have just. I don't understand that then because you have the opportunity for him to play kind of the guy from Days of Confused in this, but they don't really even do anything.
Well, that's the thing. I think they flip it. You think he's going to be the guy from Days of Confused,
but he's just like a big turd.
But he ends up being a big douche and just kind of corny. I think that's the whole thing. And it's probably Jeannine Garofalo style. They just didn't have him for that many days. Yeah. You probably only had a certain amount of days to shoot with him. so we're saying top 4: Christina Ricci, Ben Affleck, Jeannine Garofalo, and Jay Moore.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who goes in that 5th spot? You saying Paul Rudd?
Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to think
Paul
of
Rudd over
anybody
Dave
else.
Chappelle?
Maybe Courtney Love even at this point.
Yeah,
is
I think you might be right. I think
because-
5th spot has to go with Courtney
Yeah,
Love.
I think so because she's really good in this.
She's
too.
great.
She does
She
a
is
great job.
She has time to emote, but she has time to like be playful and be Courtney Love a little
Yeah.
bit. Like, yeah, no, she's really good. So now let's do most famous currently, and I think obviously Ben Affleck, right?
Yeah.
He's Batman, Oscar-winning director. You know, got through it. Actually, had a pretty bad slump in the interim, but came out of it smelling like a rose and a better artist and a better, you know. So
He
I think
dodges bullets. If he comes out of a bad movie, you're
now
still...
he does, but he had to kind of go through fire first.
Yeah.
Like he had that.
Well, that's the thing. We know now.
Yeah. Well, exactly. He won't have to do that again because he's already proven himself.
Yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
He's proven himself in every facet of movie
The only
making,
way he
too.
could hurt himself is not professionally; it's personally. If
Yeah.
he were to do something in his personal life that could make people not
You're
like
absolutely
him,
right.
that could do it. But I think professionally, he's pretty much Teflon now.
Oh yeah.
And then I think right under him, you got to go with Paul Rudd,
Yep, he's
and probably
peaking.
Casey Affleck too. Casey Affleck's probably gonna get nominated for an Oscar this year.
And he's one that you don't see a lot, but you always know it's going to be good. I feel like
Almost
he's
every
gonna be
time he's
good.
in everything he does,
yeah,
he's
he
pretty
crushes
good in
it.
it. And yeah, Paul Rudd, obviously,
Yeah, same.
not only does he look the same as he did in this movie because he's a Time Lord, but he definitely is a huge star right now. Now these last 2 spots, I almost wanted to say Kate Hudson, but we kind of missed her high point. Her sweet spot was in between the release and right now.
Yeah.
But she's really great in this, and I do feel like she's one that could choose to come back. I think maybe she took a break
Yeah.
to raise her kids a little
I
bit
think
and stuff. So, but she's really good in this, so she could come back. What
Merrick
about
loves
Chappelle?
her, yeah. Chappelle, I think he's one of the biggest. I mean, when you think about a guy that takes 12 years off because he wants to, and then he immediately walks into like a $60 million deal just because he snaps his
Yeah.
finger, and essentially the greatest network that we have right now, becoming the greatest network we have
Well,
right now,
he was
just
like-
buys him up.
He was like a cultural bomb that went off.
Yeah.
And then, he walked away and left us wanting more. He did the ultimate George Costanza and left us
Oh, yeah.
hanging. And and now and as soon as he came back, we were like ravenous for it. You know what I mean? He came on SNL and did a bit with Chappelle Show characters, and people loved it.
Yeah.
And he knew exactly how to play it. He didn't do a sketch with, he made it timely. He played on the fact that people might be a little tired of it, and it would have been hacky to bring them all back.
Yeah.
So he still got it. I'll give him the number 4
Yeah.
spot because I was like, man. And then at number 5, I almost want to go on based on successful Martha Plimpton.
Yeah, she's come back into
Huge
television.
on TV. Huge on TV. Had a big show with that Raising
Hope. And I watched that
And she has
show.
a
She's
current show
brilliant.
out that is doing very well, at least critically. I think it's still in its early season, so it's always hard to tell. Sometimes a show can be a critical darling and still get canceled.
No, that show I watched. I think I watched almost that whole series, and top to bottom, she makes that show. I mean, she really does. She's the cornerstone character of that whole show.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. I mean, Christina Ricci's still active, but I don't.
Yeah, Gabby Hoffman's on HBO show now. She's great actually in that and in this. I like her a lot.
Oh yeah, she's real good in this as just kind of the complaining Long Island girl, but she's really
just
good.
some funny moments though,
Yeah.
and she does well.
So yeah, all right. So top 5 on release we said was Ben Affleck, Courtney Love, Christina Ricci, Jay Moore, and Jeannine Garofalo.
Yep.
And top 5 now, Paul Rudd, Casey Affleck,
Ben Affleck,
only guy who maintains and gets to come back and be even more popular now. And we rounded out with Chappelle and Martha Plimpton.
Absolutely.
All right.
And just for me personally, I know we're not really going to do... If I dodged a bullet not watching this movie when it came out in the 90s, because I would have fell in love, like for real, fell in love with Martha Plimpton. And
She's really good in this, isn't she?
This to me, she's so fucking good in this movie. Like, I want to watch... I'm not a huge fan of this movie, and I can get into that, but I love Martha Plimpton in this so much. Every time she's on the screen, she steals this whole movie for me. Like, her character, her whole arc in the movie, I just can't say enough. Like, I would watch this movie, and I would give it a goodbye just for the Martha Plimpton character, and just because of her. Like, she raises to a whole new level. Like, I always loved her. Watching this movie, I'm like, oh my god, what happened? Why weren't you in stuff always?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what happened, but I love her anyway.
Till you're itching to shit on this movie. What I want to talk about first is, so I'm starting to watch it and I'm trying to be analytical. And first thing I thought was like, man, we should have had a girl on this show because there are a lot of female leads in this movie.
Yeah.
But then I was like, the female leads aren't they're not kind of written very well. They're kind of like
Garofalo maybe is the best, and I like Martha Plimpton.
Martha Plimpton isn't written badly, but a lot of them are like very man crazy, man obsessed. It's all about love and finding. And they're not complete without a man. And I'm like, so they're not the greatest female characters. So I started kind of, and then I was like, oh, but the male characters aren't treated very well either because you got Jay Moore and you got the British guy. And it's like...
No, I think a lot of these people are just shitty and unlikable. You know what I mean? Like, I was halfway through the movie, I was like, I don't like really anybody in this movie.
No, they're not. Casey Affleck, you like him and
Casey Affleck,
and Kate Hudson.
Yeah, she's likable.
Even though they're the leads, you don't...
I didn't like Courney Love and Paul Rudd. I did not like them.
I kind of like Courtney Love, but I don't like Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd's pretty fucking unlikable from the minute one, even though he's always Paul Rudd and he's always great.
Yeah, he's funny.
He's funny and he's performing the shit out of it, and you like Paul Rudd, and I think that's what's gonna like bubble up here as we're talking here, as we're getting into Goodbye. I think I was blinded by the cast of this movie.
Absolutely.
I think I'm in love with so much of the cast of this movie. There's so many people in this movie that I like and they're doing a good job but outside of that, when you look at the actual characters, the writing, the relationships, like most of it is pretty not great.
Yeah, I think the problem is that you don't like these people, a lot of these people, so you don't care about their arcs. Like the two ladies that are kind of ditching Ben Affleck, like there's a point where I'm just like,
they're the worst. They're the worst for sure. They're horrible.
Yeah,
and it's like, I mean, I guess you like Christina Ricci and Gabby Hoffman, okay?
Yeah, they're okay.
Because they're just dumb kids and they're just out. Like, if the movie was just about them, it would be like Girl Superbad.
Yeah.
Like that's what you'd have there. You'd have 80s Girl Superbad in New York, and that might be a good movie. Like maybe if you extrapolated a couple of these movies and cut a couple of the lesser interesting, lesser likable storylines, you can kind of make a better movie out of it. So are you going to nail it down? Goodbye. You gotta
No, because like I said, and I was ready when I walked down here to say it, but the more I think about it, I would keep this and call it a goodbye, and I would fast forward just to the Martha Plimpton scenes. I would just watch her arc through the whole movie because I'm telling you, I love her so much. Even though you have to put up with the whiny guy
complaining about his sex, his bad
that
sex.
Is all bad, but it's not a whole part of it. And even during that part, like when she's every line she gives is so good. Like you said, the one where she says even where's eyes go. It's like, oh my gosh, I just love her so much. I know I'm going on, but that's it. That's what saves it for me. Watch the Martha Plimpton stuff. And the Dave Chappelle. You gotta get the Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle's great in it.
So that saves it for me. How does this fall for you?
Well, I mean, this was my suggestion.
Yeah.
This is like my go-to New Year's movie that I love.
Of which there are a few.
There are very few. But analytically watching it this time and breaking it down, it's not great. The characters aren't likable. The story, the stories are when they're the good part about them is that they're cliched, and the bad parts are you're just kind of like, what are you doing? What's happening to these? No, people don't act like this in the real, And like we said, it's like it's a movie out of time. It's trying to be in the 80s, but it's so very clearly written in the 90s.
Yeah.
That being said. No, I have to give it a goodbye. Not that I'm ever going to get rid of it, because it's one of those ones that is going to stay in my collection because it does hold a place in my heart. But I am always going to know that I wouldn't purchase it again. Like I have to trick myself.
If you lost it,
it's like a goodbye. It's like goodbye, but with an asterisk of like, I'm not actually going to kick you out. You can stay.
If I ever lose you,
I'm not going to be replacing you on Blu-ray. I'll tell you that. All right, well, absolutely like, share, subscribe, the TUFF channel. Check out our other episodes. Let us know what you thought of this one. Contact us on Twitter at Hercules.
At the Drunksman.
# DVD Bunker. Let us know if you remember this. You know, I did put a thing out on Twitter. Got no responses.
Nobody remembers, I feel like that's how this movie is. It's like one of those ones you get in the bunker, so middle ground.
Yeah.
Everybody just forgets about it.
Yeah, a lot of other people probably recognized it was just a strong cast on a weak movie. I was just too dumb to notice it. It took me a long time to mature, I guess.
Yeah, well, you were probably still smoking cigarettes at this point.
That's
so
the
you're
problem.
like, I look fucking cigarettes. I saw Half-Baked. Dave Chappelle.
Hey, those Affleck guys. All right. Yeah. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to all our friends, everybody who's put in work, Jeannine and Austin and Ron helping us out, all our buddies over at TUFF Channel, and anybody who's watching at home. Thanks. Bye.